Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. I have an epic test today. We are actually going to fact check the popular game Forza. What? What the heck does that mean? Well, Forza, the ERay is actually in it, and you can do some questionable modifications to it, such as turn it from all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive. And let me just show you real quick, thanks to Matt, what we're talking about.
Well, here I am playing Forza, and I finally got the Corvette ERay. And, you know, it's the 645 wheel horsepower, all-wheel drive monster from GM. And then I came across this little button right here that allows me to do this. Take it from an all-wheel drive car to a rear-wheel drive car. But, the horsepower doesn't change. So, what's up with that?
So what we're going to do is we're going to find out two very important parts. One, does this thing retain the same horsepower? Which I know it doesn't. And two, does the weight go down? Which I know it doesn't. So we're going to find out those two things, but we are going to turn my ERay into a rear-wheel drive ERay and basically turn it into the Grand Sport like that.
Wait, is this another one of those goofy videos? Because that guy hates these kinds of videos.
I don't know, it might be. We'll find out as the video goes on. Since you guys have seen in the last video, HP Tuners has actually unlocked the ECU for tuning on the ERay, and of course, we were truly thankful to be one of the first. It was us and Eric of Ike Automotive being the first to have the unlocked ECU by HP Tuners. Now, I want to start tuning this car, and to do that, I'm going to need to get it on a dyno. At least to do it properly, I'm going to need to get it on a dyno. And why pay somebody else when I have a dyno here? So as you guys know, my dyno is for rear-wheel drive only, not two-wheel drive, not front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive only. And my ERay is not rear-wheel drive, not yet at least. So what we have to do for me to be able to tune my car in-house rather than go over to our buddies at Fast of Westchester and pay them over and over and over again is convert my car to rear-wheel drive. And we're gonna do that in this video and see if we lose any power. So let's fact check that after we review last week's comments. So now, one of my favorite parts of this video is correcting the mistakes we made in the last video. Not exactly a mistake, but an error of omission. So, maybe it's just me, but I kind of think the stock exhaust sounded better. I prefer a deeper tone, blah, blah, blah. Forza better in person, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's a question. Well, one of the mistakes that we realized that we made is we took decibel readings of the stock exhaust and the Corsa in order to quantify how loud and quiet this thing is, and we did not put it in the video, unfortunately. So now we're going to put it in the video. So now that we know the actual decibel readings of the Corsa, I'm going to read the rest of the comment. It's, you know, I prefer a deeper tone. Maybe the Corsa system might sound better in person. There's a dramatic difference between quiet and rowdy mode with the Corsa setup though. And that is definitely true. If you're looking for a deeper tone, we are testing another exhaust in the future. MBRP. I guess I could say it in this video. I don't want to ruin a Corsa video by mentioning MBRP, and I don't want to ruin an MBRP video by mentioning Corsa. So we are testing the MBRP exhaust, and that actually has a really, really good tone. In fact, I think I like that tone more than the Corsa, but you'll just have to see the video. You know, subscribe so you see it. Andrew, last video from this, you had yourself and Eric, and you said Eric has a new company. You didn't say he had a new company. The title was Eric's company. What happened with you and Eric? Apparently he left on good terms. You're still talking to him. When did he leave? Well, that's a great question. Eric actually left-ish like a year and a half ago. I think about a year and a half ago, like January last year. And that was due to some family things going on where he needed to set his schedule better, be at home. And then we started working together more, where he'd come out and do some part-time tuning for me, to keep my schedule free in order to be able to do some other stuff that I've been working on. And now, actually, we're at a point where Dyno 3, what we call Dyno 3, which is actually my third dyno, I am leasing to Eric in the spot next to us, so we can work together in close quarters and really make a good synergistic relationship here. Eric, you know, got the taste of being his own manager, and well, you know, kind of honestly, once you get to that point, it's kind of hard to go back if you make it. If you don't, and it's really easy to go back because, well, options are options, right? So the next question is, wow, talk about anticlimactic. While other shops have E-rays boosted and into the 9, CSP only putting on a tune and an exhaust. Call my excitement snore. Well, to be fair, we have a lot of stuff going on here. And also, we had to wait 3 or 4 weeks before even saying that this was tunable. And I also didn't want to just rush into it to be the first. I don't care about being the first. I want to be the best. So we're starting in a progression build, because guess what? No one else has done a progression build on an E-ray. Like, no one. Because you know what? There's no E-rays out there. Everybody's like tried to be the first to throw a supercharger on, or this, that, the other thing. I'm actually over here doing some great testing on the products. Camshaft, headers, intake stuff, like all sorts of good stuff for you guys, so you have good quality content. And I am sorry that I didn't meet your expectations of going 9s on a super duper boosted car really quick. You know what? I want to try to go 9s naturally aspirated. We'll see if we can do it. I think that would be cooler than going 9s with like 1,000 horsepower, don't you? I'm getting angry. You know what? I'm also angry about this next thing, which I told you guys to ask me about, and you did! You absolutely did! What happened to the Tesla window? You got a bunch of people who asked me about it because, well, I kind of led you into that, and here's the clip. This is actually broken on the inside. I'm not going to open it because it keeps on putting shards of glass into my seat and stuff like that. So it's going to sit here just like that until Tesla can fix it. I don't know why it broke. The only thing I can think of is that it looks like it got caught somewhere over here, or something down here pushed out on it. It just, something's weird. I checked the security footage, and this window was not cracked when I moved it into the garage. I shut it and walked away. I plugged it in, probably didn't even see that it was cracked, and then armed the alarm system. And when I came back over the weekend to take my car again, because I was driving the Corvette, it was like this. So I didn't take it, I just left it there. And I was like, son of a bitch. So, yeah, thanks for asking about it. Luckily it's only $350 through Tesla to have it fixed, so it's probably cheaper than Safelite, but, you know, I don't know, it was stupid. Just totally stupid. I don't know how that happened. I didn't slam it hard, I looked at the footage. So, weird. I don't know.
So go to CSPRacing.com,
Yeah.
get yourself a set of headers so Andrew can get a new window.
Yeah, please. CSPRacing.com. We got 2268 610s in stock. We got like the CSP headers in stock. We got Magnusons. We got Whipples. We got, I think that's it. Like Magnusons, Whipples, LT4 fuel pumps. We got all sorts of fun stuff here. This goes on. This is kind of like the quest for the Holy Grail like room. If you just walk around in a circle, that is. And yeah, go to CSPRacing.com. And finally for the comment of the week, this one pissed me off that I almost made an entire video about it. Entire video! And I thought, I'm not going to do that to you guys because most of you have followed me. This guy was not a subscriber, which is a bunch of bullshit. He should have subscribed. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe now. Well, Jason918, you poor motherfucker. out there. What's the point of these cars? You need all the mods to touch a Plaid, only to eventually chase a problem after problem when it breaks because built poorly. Tesla 1020 factory warranty, taking up these things to Gapplebee's with 8-year 150K. You can literally do thousands of passes in the quarter. Ask Andrew from Tesla Plaid channel, and no maintenance. Fanboys, but the sound, the emotion, hold my electrons. Plaid does it anywhere, any place, anytime. Say otherwise and you're just a jealous hater. Is he f***ing talking to me? Does he know that I have Plaids? Seriously, I am the most qualified person that does this to talk about this entire thing. I have the Plaid Model S that we just saw with the broken window. And I also have the Plaid Model X. And I agree to some point, but there's something that the Tesla doesn't have. Something that you cannot replicate currently with the Tesla Plaid, and that is progression. Some people, you know, enjoy the journey of getting where they want to go more than just being there. Like this, well, like this will have a progression. And when it beats the Plaid, because we will make this a Plaid killer, it will be very rewarding compared to just owning the Plaid. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Plaid. I have trouble because I want to sell the Plaid, but I also don't want to sell the Plaid because I love it that much. But there is something to be said about a certain progression, and this thing is the most rewarding of all of them. In fact, for the longest time, the Tesla Plaid Model S has been my favorite car. I'm sorry to admit that, but it has been my favorite car because of some of the things that you mentioned. I think that they are fair. But it has been dethroned by the ERay. The ERay has dethroned, in my mind, the Tesla Plaid as my favorite car of all time. So here it is, boys. Eat it up. There's only like 500 out there right now, maybe less. And it is the best car on the market today, bar none. Okay, so disabling the front wheel drive system here, converting it to rear wheel drive, is actually a pretty simple process. You just gotta tear off some panels. You do not wanna remove the fireman's hat, you know, deal here. There's a snippers. It's not how you wanna disable the electric motor. That would be bad because then you really wouldn't be able to repair it, and if you did that yourself, you'll probably electrocute yourself. But you zoom in on it, you'll be able to see that this little guy, if we just take this red clip out like that, it says on, I think, somewhere, and I pull it out. Now it should say off. The electric motor is now disabled. That's pretty simple, right? Very quick, almost like the video game. Now we'll actually have to see on the dyno, which we already know the answer, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to put it on the dyno and see how much power we actually lost. So Forza says we could probably lose a little bit of weight here, but they say about 150 pounds. Is that right, Matt?
A little bit less than that.
A little bit less than 150 pounds. That's ridiculous, because you know what? The battery actually weighs a decent bit. So it should be in the neighborhood of 300 pounds, would be my guess. So there might be some truth to the weight savings if done properly, but not so much in terms of the power is going to be our hypothesis, because we're going to do this scientifically. So now this is what we're going to test. We're going to fire this thing up and see what kind of lights we have. I think the first test should, of course, be, can we put it in stealth mode? It says stealth mode unavailable, but shuttle mode is supposedly available. Let's test that theory. Nothing. But it did unlock it. Like, you can kind of see the car, so it unlocked the transmission, which is kind of cool. It is in neutral. Like, it can't, conditions not correct for shift. So we'll put it back in park. Let's fire her up and see what kind of lights we have. Service vehicle soon. Electric power. Electric power is all disabled. Service vehicle soon. We got a check engine light. OnStar is probably going to be sending me an email being like, yo! No email yet. Will it drive nice? It's got the E all-wheel drive up. E all-wheel drive, get over there. It is giving me an issue for the electric all-wheel drive. That's funny. It still records the battery pack level, so it didn't entirely shut it off. It just shut the front motor off, it seems. Okay, so I got her strapped down. This is going to be my first time moving it, and I'm hoping to God that this thing doesn't go woo and the way it goes. Just going to try to get past what the Stingrays do, which is like they limit you to like 20 miles per hour and then like hit certain things. You kind of have to go through a criteria of spinning the wheel for a little bit of time, so it fails the ABS and then allows you to shift through the gears. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm kind of excited. Dynoing the all-wheel drive ERay and rear-wheel drive. Holy shit! It's all like ah!
What was that?
It's all like ah! So last time we were on the dyno, we were dynoing 577 rear-wheel horsepower plus front-wheel horsepower, and I'm so used to rear-wheel horsepower. And so we're gonna find out with this run right now how much power we lost to be able to do this. Let's do it. Some decent numbers. We'll compare it with the coldest pull first, as that was the best. We're comparing best to best. So let's do that. Having the ability to make this from all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive just by doing that little trick is one of the coolest features of any vehicle. Like that's amazing. And we lost about 140 horsepower. To the wheels. That's significant. Wow. That's cool. We can dyno on all-wheel drive ERay and rear-wheel drive. So I'm actually really happy that we can lose this horsepower up front to be able to do this all in-house still without converting the dyno to all-wheel drive. That is so cool. I don't know how, this is cooler than the inner chiller. You guys know I love my inner chiller. Awesome. Okay, so, let me turn the fans off. Okay, so there is a little bit of a discrepancy in terms of what you would expect for the difference. You'd say, oh, the electric motor is rated at 160 horsepower, but what we're seeing is more like 138. Well, there's probably a spot somewhere around here that it's about 160. It might be in the spot where it looks like it pulled timing, but what's happening is that these two are two independent drivetrains. They're not linked together. So this car, this is one of the weird things on how it was rated. So it's not rated like a normal, Stingray, where it's like 495 horsepower and that's the peak horsepower. This is the peak horsepower of
the gas engine plus the peak horsepower of the electric engine, where they may not actually overlap and show an overall peak 160 horsepower. But we are seeing 150 in some spots here, which, you know, says, hey, it's making it somewhere. Not everywhere, but somewhere. And that's where some of the discrepancy, you know, we found was in the overall ratings of it. Just a little advertisement gimmick from GM. Thanks, GM. But it's really cool. This is just one of the coolest features still. Being able to disconnect that just by, you know, what we did. So simple. So awesome. I love this thing. I love it for so many reasons. All-wheel drive, tunable, you know, and, you know, the sky's beginning to be the limit. So, gosh, all we need is TCM support. Come on, HP tuners, let's do it. Okay, so as you guys are probably noticing, this video came out today, Thursday, and it was supposed to come out Wednesday. Well, I have more tests that I want to do, so you're gonna just have to subscribe, stay tuned, because next week on the channel is what I'm going to accomplish today or tomorrow, which will be, we're going to test tuning this thing, and we're also going to test a drop-in filter. Some of you guys are like, people have twin turbo this thing, blah, 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 blah. They've got nines, blah, 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 blah. They're crazy. That's cool. I mean, it's really cool, but I want to do a progression series for you guys, and that's what we're going to do. So stay tuned next week when we finally start working with the Unlock ECU. We start testing different things like filters, maybe intakes, and then we're going to get into like headers, camshafts, stuff like that, and finally we're going to end up with the full Monty, which will be built engine, turbos, you know, the works, and it's going to be really awesome. I am really excited. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Sorry it was not an entire video like we had planned. We just ran out of time, and well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. See you guys in the next one.
Everybody take a picture.